Right now, some of the best opportunities on market right now are power of sales. And in today's video, we're going to go through some power of sale listings. That's right, listings from lenders. In these situations, what a power of sale is, the owner of the property is in some sort of default with the lender, whether it's a primary A bank or if it's a B and C lender or private lender. And the lender now has taken possession, looking to sell the property on the behalf of the owner. And power of sale sales, power of sale listings, whether homes or condos, have their own challenges. We'll discuss some of those challenges, but in today's video, let's first see how many power of sales there are GTA and Toronto wide and go through some of them. I think it'll make an interesting exercise, and as always, I can't stop myself for talking, so we'll be talking about the areas, the properties, the opportunities, how many power of sale opportunities are there, which are the good ones, why are they power of sales, and it'll give you kind of a more firm understanding of what's happening on the ground. Before we get into it quickly, hello everyone, Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate. Nice to have you. Contact information in the description box. Book a call. The link to book a call is there. Been lucky enough to meet a lot of clients from this channel. So without further ado, let's take a look at power of sale listings within Toronto and the GTA. First and foremost, how do we find power of sale? Very simple. My method to do it is as follows. We have a field that says remarks for brokers and seller's name. Well, for seller's name, we simply put power of sale and add a or to put the acronym. And we see this method alone simply yields us 343 results. So right now, GTA-wide, there are about 343 power of sale listings and many more that are probably, not currently on market. Before we take a look at specific ones, keep in mind, power of sale opportunities are in some cases really good opportunities, but they come with a fair amount of risk. Often the lender is not going to make any warranties or covenants with regards to the stat of the property, or rather the status of the property, the condition of the property. You really can negotiate with a lender. They will price it attractively, and on price you may be able to negotiate somewhat, but in terms of warranties made with regards to the property, you're kind of left without any leverage there. And guess what? Sometimes they also may create some lending or financing challenges on the buyer's behalf. Lastly, some power of sale properties do not show well. Frankly, most power of sale properties do not show well, so you gotta have that imagination there. But anyways, let's take a look at specific power of sale listings on market right now. So here we are, we have the GTA and really honestly Ontario map here. All these numbers, these blue dots are clusters of power of sale listings. This is how many there are across the GTA, a lot. But let's really actually focus our lens on the GTA proper. You see so many in Oakville, Mississauga, a little less in Toronto, but more so also in Oshawa, East Toronto. I mean, Brampton has a ton of power of sales, right? Let's take a look at a couple and, just start chatting away. And I'm drawn to Richmond Hill. Richmond Hill is one of my favorite municipalities. Let's take a look at this one, for example. Listed for 1.78, 19 Colebrook Road, Richmond Hill, 4+2, 6 bathrooms. 6 bathrooms, that's a little bit excessive, I would say, but, maybe some needed. For 1.78 million, let's take a look at this power of sale listing. First and foremost, in seller's name, you see power of sale. It's tenanted, not going to show well either. Wow, a power of sale listing that's tenanted is a whole conundrum in of itself. I mean, it's so many webs to kind of like walk through to even make a transaction happen there. It's just a mess not worth getting yourself involved in. Nonetheless, though, 19 Colesbrook Road, power of sale. I suspect it was a situation where it's a rental property, clearly it's tenanted, the numbers didn't add up anymore, right? Like for a $1.7 million property in Richmond Hill, you're not netting that much cash flow. And unfortunately, in this case, it seems as if it has fallen a victim to a power of sale. Just go a little further east in Markham, we see this one off the bat, the price on the blue dot itself in Markham draws my attention. $4 million, namely $4.8 million. Let's take a look at this power of sale property. 19 Royal County Down Crescent for 4.9, nearly a power of sale, and Inc. selling it. 5+3, 8 washrooms. The lot, how big is the lot? Let's find, 100 by 144. Yet another power of sale. Sometimes you never really know the backstory, but so it's hard to come up with some sort of conjecture here. I don't want to speak, in a misrepresenting fashion, but once again, I suspect the case here is that simply there's a default on the loan or some sort of payments, some sort of lien against the property where someone has taken possession. Oftentimes, this also happens on refinancing as well. Some sellers refinance or they get a private line, the private lender puts a lien on their property, and they don't make good on that loan that they took. So it doesn't necessarily have to be from the original mortgage either, right? It's just unfortunate, but this is a huge property, really peculiar colors, I would say, like like a lot of random yellow and red everywhere, as we saw in the images. But yet another power of sale, and it's a $5 million power of sale, right? Like, people think power of sale right now is just the beginner condos or the smaller homes, people who are middle to lower class not being able to afford their properties, and that is actually happening, but you have it from all across the wealth spectrum. Let's take a look at some in Toronto. For example, this another highly priced one. This one's for $3.6 million, but let's actually look at this one. This power of sale is for $10 million, right? And this is just to make a point, because I think I know which one this is. Exactly, it's 505 Russell Hill Road, a 4+2, 7 bathrooms, 5,000 plus square feet, listed for $10 million, essentially $10.3 million. And you might be asking yourself, why is this a power of sale? As you can see, power of sale here once again, listed for $10 million. I suspect here what it was, and this is conjecture, once again, I don't want to be irresponsible with my conjecture, but I think it's based on experience. So I don't know for a fact what I'm about to say. It's just based on many years of experience and knowing how the sausage is made, for lack of a better expression. What I suspect is beautiful looking property from the outside, we'll take a look at the inside in a minute, was a newly constructed home. The builders probably ran out of money. I think that's what it is. They clearly finished it, but once they finished it, the product they had, and they probably didn't finish everything. If we probably were at the property, we most likely see some unfinished stuff. Nonetheless, though, I suspect that's the case, that this was a brand new construction that was, you know, coming into some hardship. For $1 million, I'm not sure if I like the aesthetic. I mean, it kind of looks like a lobby, to be honest with you, with all this black finishes on the walls. In terms of the black marble on the walls, I'm not into it. It looks like a lobby. A little bit tacky, I would say, in my opinion, but who am I? I don't own a $10 million house. They didn't build my $10 million house. I don't even own a $5 million house. So who am I at the end of the day to call this tacky? Nonetheless, though, this is just to put across that a lot of power of sales right now in today's market are also from projects that have just dried up. Whether it's in the middle of the project, oftentimes you see that, or builders selling the product, the house in the middle of the project, so it's just the framing or the floors are not done and it might be power of sale, or something finished, right? Once again, though, you have to understand, I have to add this caveat, not to be a coward, but to be fair, I don't know the actual facts on the ground. So these are just professional assumptions based on a lot of experience, but I don't know this for a fact. But let's take a look at some homes in Toronto and then we'll shift to condos. So let's take a look at some more in Toronto. Let's take a look at some middling options in terms of price points. Not like the $10 million price points or the 6 or 7. For example, this one in Willowdale, or rather Newtonbrook to be more precise, Young Steeles area, Young Finch area, 192 Finch Avenue. It's a 3-bed, 2-washroom, 1.5 story detached, kind of an older property. I'm familiar with these properties. It's been on market for 36 days and no photos. This means that it's a power sale, and for some reason it could be to non-cooperation, it could be to legal liability. There aren't photos of the property, which obviously doesn't help it being offloaded. 50 by 111, 1.26 is a little, I would say, overpriced. I think that, for example, I recently sold a property around this area a little bit further south in a bit of a better street. Well, not a bit of a better street, but better street for sure. But it was the complete tear down. We sold it for 1.45. That was my most recent sale in this area. Nonetheless, not having seen it, knowing the area, knowing the community, I suspect that this is also, if not a tear down, close to a tear down. And it's just under power sale, as you guys can see here, under power of sale once again. When you zoom out, you really see a lot in Brampton. A lot of homes. These are all freehold properties. Like this one, 502 Vankirk, Brampton, a million, 4+2, 4 bathrooms. This one, 1.6 million, 3+3 in Brampton, power of sale. When you go to Mississauga, there's still some out there, obviously, but not as many. And same with Durham, Pickering, Ajax, I would say, and Oshawa. There's a fair amount on the east side of the city as well. I must add once more that this is not a surefire way to find every single power of sale on market as per the MLS system or realm, but it's a pretty decent way, you know, just putting the name power of sale in the seller's field. Now, let's do the same thing for condominiums. That's right, because undoubtedly there's a lot to talk about when it comes to condominium power of sales as well. All right, so we have the map open now for condos, power of sales, Toronto condo listings for sale under power of sale. And we see main cluster now, of course, being Toronto. Toronto has the most condos, the most buildings, right? Most power of sales will be in Toronto. Now, let's switch over to the list format for the condos. I just want to show you how much of it is concentrated really in the city of Toronto and mostly downtown as well. As you guys can see here, it's mostly downtown. All right, so let's go through some of these. For example, building I know quite well, 410 Queens Quay, unit 505, a Toronto condo listing offering for power of sale. Lender has taken possession, some sort of default, been on market 21 days, $449,000, no parking, no locker. I like this building quite a bit. The maintenance has increased above $1 per square foot, but it is all inclusive in terms of maintenance. This is the property in question. It's facing the Gardner, not good whatsoever. It's really close to the Gardner. This is going to be a hard one to offload, and really for investors to take a chance on this, although it's a good opportunity to have leverage, it's a power of sale. Do you really want it, right? Not the building. The building is one of my more preferred buildings on Queens Quay, although there are better ones. Nonetheless, it's a bit of risk to take right on Gardner. 319 Jarvis, unit 606, another power of sale property. Listed for $515,000 for 1+1, one washroom, no parking, no locker. Clearly been on market for a long time. As you can see, the snow from the outside. I actually once got my car towed listing a property in 308 Jarvis, which is the other new one that's struggling right now. Nonetheless, been on market for a long time. And by the way, you might ask, well, why are some people not selling? Why is it even going to power of sale, as is the case here? And that's simply because for a lot of people, they can't afford to sell, literally. Like if they sell, they will end up owing the lender, right? So they don't have enough equity to sell. It's a tough situation for a lot of people, but this at 515 square feet in the low 500s, but this at $515,000, lower square footage in the low 500s, no parking, no locker, it's not going to move anytime soon. 20 Tubman, unit 403, another power of sale listing. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-washroom in Regent Park, and I actually like Regent Park, obviously. It's one of my hot takes that people disagree with me all the time, whether it's here or TikTok, Instagram. People always think I'm, overrating Regent Park. I love Regent Park. Get used to it. It's much better than Liberty Village. It's much better than City Place. Sorry to say so. City Place, I will even hear an argument for City Place over Regent Park. I will not hear an argument for Liberty Village over Regent Park. Liberty Village is great if you are into stepping on dog crap and OnlyFans models and tech bros and $19 coffees. That's a really good area in terms of Liberty Village, if that is what you're into. But if you're into what I'm into, community-oriented, family-oriented, yes, family-oriented Regent Park, believe it or not, with a pool, bike lanes, basketball court, soccer field, ice hockey rink, park, really good area. That's what I'm into. Anyways, putting aside that digression, this property, 20 Tubman, unit 403, $848,000, a power of sale. Matter of fact, I'm quite confident I viewed this with a client once, and it was not in good shape. We'll see. The pictures are probably presented in a better shape than it was in person. But this is a bank sale, clearly, or when I say bank, I mean lender sale. But there's a lot of good opportunity here, I think. This is a pretty good building. This is the first time I've said this in this video. seems attractive. I think there's more room to push on the pricing. It's a power of sale. The bank is just trying to offload it. Clearly, they're not getting anything. And with power of sales, when you do get something, there's a lot of red tape, additional documents that you would have to sign, things that you have to agree to that isn't there in a typical straightforward transaction. Another power of sale opportunity, a Toronto condo listing for sale under power of sale on the market right now. 20 Edward, unit 510, 699, 755 square feet for 699. Has more room to go. Not surprised. This was a very investor focused and investor purchased, investor bought building. 20 Edward location is amazing, but it's full of students and has, some under the table Airbnbs. Floor plans are also a little bit odd in this building, but you probably will have more power of sales happening in an investor owned properties, I suspect. Here we are. Yeah, this is not a good floor plan, but location is just absolutely great, right? It's right next to Yonge and Dundas, right? And there we have it. Power of sale listings on market right now within the Toronto and GTA real estate markets. I can keep going on, but I won't. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have any comments. Leave your comments in the comment section. And for any buying, selling, leasing inquiries, you already know what to do. My contact info and the link to book a call on my Calendly is in the description. So thank you very much. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.